When I'm with Volkanovski and I tell him hello and I pat him on the back, it feels different. The guy used to be 96 kilograms in his rugby days. 96 kilograms transfers out to 211 pounds. When he was 211 pounds, in case you've never seen the photos, don't think you're going to go look for some big fat guy. Oh, that was Alex? Ha ha ha. No, not like that. He was lean then. Big muscular legs, big muscular ass. He carried some upper weight. He got that weight off, and you think he'd settle in at a 185 pound. I'm telling you, this wasn't some guy that looked like he had an obesity issue. It looked like a big, strong, powerful athlete. He went from 211 to 145.
I'm gonna go with the champ. I think he has enough in him. He's already shown and proven that in 10 rounds against Holloway. I hate doing MMA math, but we remember what Holloway did to Ortega. That was a previous Ortega, but I'm still gonna go with Volkanovski.
Set that aside now. How is he going to do with a great striker? He did real well with a great grappler. How's he going to do with a great striker? And who's greater than Jose Aldo? Did real well with him. And it wasn't just that he did well with him, it was how he did it. He's very tenacious. I can't ever remember picking a guy to do well in a fight. But you know, what's so neat about this Volkanovski guy? Oh, he's tenacious. What? What kind of analysis is that? Seeing a guy that is tenacious, though, is very rare. It's a word that you don't use very often because it's not very common. I mean, this is a guy who's going to be in your face, smothering you.
I think that Alexander he's good. He's good. I like him, and he's on Israel's team, right? Yeah, probably with them guys.
Volkanovski is going to take it. I think that Volkanovski has the ability to stay away from those. I think Volkanovski is going to kind of pick him apart as far as striking. I think he's going to be able to land some leg kicks, kind of like he did against Max. I think he's going to be able to land some big shots. But I also think that Volkanovski has the wherewithal to stay away from the guillotine, because when Ortega gets in trouble, when he starts getting beat up, he always has that to lean on. If he grabs a hold of you, he can grab your head or your neck, and he can get the finish. But I think Volkanovski, has the wherewithal to stay away from that. Kind of like, I don't think what happened to Cub Swanson is going to happen to Volkanovski is basically what I'm saying. I think Cub could have won that fight. He just had to not get grabbed, I'm not saying the Cub couldn't have done it. He's an amazing fighter, and he could have. It just happened.
Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander, the only person that can beat Alexander Volkanovski is Max Holloway, and he beat Max twice. So that's how good Alexander Volkanovski is. Doesn't lose a round.
Alexander's not a guy that's gonna exchange with you and stuff like that. Alexander's gonna move a lot. He's gonna make you work. Even when you look at Max Holloway, everybody's like, "Oh, look how Max Holloway look against a Cater," and I'm like, "Yes," but he couldn't look like that against Alexander. And I still thought Max Holloway won that second fight. But I just think it's just harder when a guy is constantly moving and he goes in and out and he just constantly moves. He's a great wrestler.
Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. This thing keeps getting a little bit more interesting for me. And how good is Volkanovski? Well, if you watch him with Chad Mendez, you start to come away with this guy can do a little bit of everything. This guy's strong. He's got great endurance. He's in your face. He really believes he can beat the best guys in the world. Okay.
I trained with Alex Volkanovski a long time. It's my friends. I think he win.
I think Volkanovski's going to win. I think Max is the king of the division. I think he won that last fight. I liked Volkanovski in the first fight. I thought he won. The second one, I thought Max won. And the way Max looks right now, I think he beats all these guys. So I think those two will fight for the belt. I think Volkanovski will win. And then they have to do a third one. And I think my man Max get the strap back.
Add that to the fact that this is, and I'm talking about Volkanovski, the strongest man that Max has ever faced. I also have never found myself in giving a breakdown of a fight and talking about how strong one guy is. It seems a little bit silly, particularly when they're going to weigh in at the exact same thing. If I told you a guy was 400 pounds and whoa, you wouldn't believe it, he could hold a boulder up right over his head. You go, well, yeah, that's interesting, but after all, he does weigh 400 pounds. How are you going to tell me a guy that's 145 pounds is so much stronger than a guy that weighs 145? Look, it's a different muscle. It's a denser muscle.
I see Volkanovski. I think he has a solid game. He can really impose his will, and he's a really strong guy. So I think that You know, for that reason, I believe that he's gonna win that fight. But at the same time, he cannot let the fight get to the ground in a place where it's really comfortable for Ortega, because he's got really good ground game. And boxing-wise, he has to cut the distance. If he stays at a distance, I think it's going to be better for Ortega. But overall, I think that Volkanovski is the guy that can, make the fight get dirty and just take those 5 rounds and get a decision.
I mean, how much credit do you want to give a guy because he's got some confidence in his sport? On some levels, it sounds like a silly thing to say, but when you go get in there with a Chad Mendes for all those minutes and all those rounds, and you're trying to get a scary, scary Chad Mendes out of there, a guy who'd been a top and perennial guy, been in there with the best in the world for a meaningful period of time, and you're walking in there like it's your house. I mean, there is something to that attitude that you can notice as an observer from TV. Okay.
I like Volkanovski in that fight, man. With Ortega, I worry about guys with suspect chins because he's got some power. He's got really good grappling. Volkanovski is extremely difficult to take down, and he has a granite chin. Stylistically, I think Volkanovski is a tough fight for him.
MMA, it is less common, but it does still exist. And when you have a guy like Volkanovski who goes, no, there's no deal. It's everything I have every single second I'm in here. That's a tenaciousness. That's an intangible. That is a word that you do not generally bring into the breakdown of a fight because you do not generally have the ability to.
Man, it's MMA math doesn't work because it's an interesting matchup and you're like, oh, Max, did this to Ortega and Volkanovski beat Max twice, but it's still an interesting matchup. It doesn't work like that. Like, oh, so he's going to definitely beat him. Like there's some stylistic things that I think play into Ortega's favor, but it seems like Volkanovski's always well prepared and changes up to adjust to those. Like he's one of the people that I see actually like adjusting fight to fight, not just like, hey, I'm gonna fight the same way every time. So I see the champ doing his thing.
I'm thinking Volkanovski is going to be a little too much for Ortega to handle, but that's also a super tough fight. Watching Volkanovski and the Holloway fights, they were both super close. And I thought Max won the last one personally, but seeing what Max did to Ortega was just a clinic. But that you can't go off of MMA math. It doesn't work like that. The style is going to make the fight. So I just see Volkanovski, edging out a decision as well.